Welcome to the Why LKC Medicine podcast, where we turn the spotlight on LKC Medicine's MBBS program. I'm your host, Brandt, an LKC Medicine Year 2 student. In this episode, we'll be talking about a topic we know many of you will be interested in, the ins and outs of student life in LKC Medicine, outside of studying, of course. Before I joined the school, I wanted to find out more about what really goes on in the life of a student here. So our guests today are the perfect fit for this topic. As the student leaders who represent the needs and interests of our MBBS students, please welcome our MedSoc President and Vice Presidents.
Hi everyone, my name is Sean. I'm a Year 4 student and I'm currently the President of the LKC MedSoc.
Hi, I'm Kaiying. I'm a Year 4 student and I'm the Vice President for Education.
Hi, I'm Sree. I'm a Year 4 medical student as well and I'm the Vice President for Wellbeing.
Okay, hi guys, thanks for being here. So, for our listeners who are wondering, LKC MedSoc is our school's student club that works towards enhancing the student experience for all MBBS students. So let's get into some of the questions for the three of you. Okay, I'm sure that one of the areas our listeners would be most interested in is the work-life balance of, LKC Medicine students. Would you say that there is time and opportunities for students here to pursue their interests outside of school? And if you maybe could quantify it, how many hours you spend on extracurricular activities, you could do that too. Maybe Sean, you want to start?
Okay, yeah, definitely. I think there's plenty of time and opportunities for students to take part in things outside of studies. And a key reason why this is so, especially in years 1 and 2, is because all of us watch pre-recorded lectures for our TBL sessions. And this lets us, gives us the freedom to really plan our time however we want. An example, in my year 1 and 2, I was heavily involved in hall activities, especially sports such as football and sepak takraw. And during that time, I would spend around 10 hours a week studying and maybe a little bit more than that on sports and this makes me sound like a bad student, but
Oops.
Yeah. But looking back, it was really a very memorable 2 years, and I think it's really thanks to LKC's pedagogy where we have pre-recorded lectures.
Yeah, so like how Sean was involved in hall activities, right? I was involved in NTU activities, so I'm part of the NTU MC club until like year 4 now. And it's the same because NTU has so many different societies and clubs that we can actually choose one that we're interested in depending on our commitment and free time that we have. So there's also that flexibility because of the wide range of choices that we have.
I think aside from the CCAs that Sri and Sean have talked about, there's also community projects, and actually a lot of LKC Medicine students are involved in community projects. So personally for me, in year 1 and year 2, I was part of this overseas community project called Project Asha. So what we did was we went to Nepal and we organised cataract camps free of charge for underprivileged patients there. So we found that really a very meaningful experience from the organisation to the actual execution. And it was also very interesting and eye-opening to be able to work with the local institutions there and just see how things work differently in a different context. Yeah.
Okay, that's nice. But moving forward from there, some of our listeners might be interested in the support that the school provides in terms of student welfare. So maybe you guys could share a little bit more on this area.
Yeah, so in LKC we have the house system where every student is part of a house and they're also assigned to one house tutor who are generally older individuals from the healthcare profession. We're supposed to meet them regularly for us to give an update on our personal lives as well as their school life, where they manage to talk to us about whether we're doing well mentally and physically. And this is an opportunity for us to share our own difficult experiences, and even our house tutors share their own experiences back when they were medical students. And this motivates us a lot and encourages us because we know that life is just a process and we will eventually get there. Yeah. Besides the LKC House tutor system, we also have counselling services provided by NTU Student Wellbeing Centre. So these are actually free counselling services that any of our students can sign up for, and everything is kept anonymous. And they even come down to our clinical sciences building at the Novena campus to counsel us, which is amazing in my opinion. And we're not just restrained to the NTU Yuanan Garden campus.
Wow.
I think aside from that kind of support, we also have a lot of academic support for each other. So actually the teaching culture in LKC Medicine is really very strong. So the seniors will always try and give back and help the juniors and teach the juniors in return for being taught by their own seniors. So actually, MedSoc every year will organise mock exams for each batch of juniors, where the seniors come back and act as examiners and give the juniors a good experience on how an exam is actually carried out. We also have a lot of informal and formal teaching sessions where seniors will just teach about complicated topics and give students more practice on certain areas.
Okay, well, I mean, since we mentioned about houses, I think we can all agree that Marie Curie House is the best house, right? No? No? Okay, nice try. Alright, so let's share with our listeners about other areas of student life outside the classroom. So personally for me, I do stay in school after lessons for a variety of things. I really like to hang out with my friends just to chill, because like after TBL you can get really tired and you just don't feel like studying for the rest of the day. So a quick refreshing activity with your friends is nice. But the main thing I do in school is actually utilize the school gym. And if you guys have seen it, you definitely know that the view in the school gym is so good. And then there's of course the amazing facilities in the gym as well. Yeah. So I also want to know about what you guys do in school. So maybe you can start with either level 8 or maybe some MedSoc activities.
Yeah, maybe we can talk about level 8. That's actually where I spend most of my time in school when I'm at the Clinical Sciences building. So like you said, on level 8 there's the gym. There's also 5 house rooms, one for each house. And each house has their own special thing like gaming devices, Xbox,
Massage chair.
massage chair. It's really a nice environment where students can hang out. We also have the student lounge that has a foosball table and a pool table.
And the microwave, which I use all the time.
So you were the one that didn't clean up.
Oh, oops.
Yeah, just joking, yeah. But I think my favorite part about level 8 is the ping pong tables. Leading up to exams where we're in the level 20 library and studying really hard. I love to take my breaks by just going down for a quick game of ping pong with my friends. I think that really helps.
So you're the one making the noise at the ping pong table. Just kidding. Okay, anyone else?
I remember before exams in year 2, every time I went down to level 8, Sean would be at the ping pong table. Then I sometimes wondered whether he was even studying. Yeah, aside from all those that's already been mentioned, another very important place in level 8 is the music room. So for me, actually, I'm part of this a cappella group that we have in LKC called Medley, which is just formed by a group of students who like singing and like making music together. So a lot of the time we'll just go down to the music room before performances or even when there's no performances, and we just sing together and make music together, and that's a very enjoyable experience.
Beyond LKC activities in Singapore, we actually have the Imperial connection. So there are 2 opportunities for LKC students to go over to Imperial College London, our sister school. One is in year 2 for an immersion program, and in year 5, which is a 6-week elective program where we go to do a proper clinical posting. So Kaiying and I got the opportunity to go back in year 2 to Imperial College London. So we spent 1 week there, and we actually managed to extend our trip because it was during our holidays. I think the biggest advantage of going over to your sister school is to see how they carry out their curriculum there, and we could draw a lot of similarities in terms of our content. We even set in through their lectures and tutorials. The most interesting thing for us was this cadaveric dissection that we have, and it was very interesting to see how they learn anatomy, because that's not the way we learn, but obviously there's no one method that's better than the other. It was just very interesting to be exposed to such a pedagogy. Yeah.
And do you have to fork out a lot of money to go for the exchange program?
Actually, no. So it's a school-paid program.
Oh, wow.
It was worth it.
Yeah, definitely. Sounds good. Okay, so we are approaching the end of our podcast. So let's touch upon one last question. What is your favorite part about being an LKC Medicine student?
I think my favorite part would be the LKC community. LKC has a very small cohort size. I think mine is our cohort size is 120. I think currently for the year ones it's around 160. But that's really very small, and this allows for a very tight-knit community. And everyone really looks out for each other's backs. I think recently in my obstetric posting, I was struggling to get an opportunity to see a baby being delivered, and at the end I only managed to do so because my friends who were on the delivery ward, they kept calling me and saying Sean, come down now. There's a baby being delivered right now. So eventually I got the chance, and I dropped my lunch and I went to see one. Yeah. So I think at the end of the day, every medical school roughly teaches the same content. But for LKC, what really makes it special and unique is the community that we have.
I think aside from this, maybe my favourite part of being an LKC student would just be about the wide variety of opportunities that we have to involve ourselves in anything that might interest us. So this goes from school programs to also outside school programs. So if you're interested in community projects or doing extracurricular research, then there's a lot of opportunities for that. But also just the community, and everyone is very spontaneous and eager to take part in things. So I've already mentioned Medley, and aside from that, we also have a lot of sports interest groups where students just meet up outside of school to play badminton, go bouldering. So I think that's something that's really, really exciting about being an LKC student.
For me, it's actually the independence and freedom that we get. I think medical school is a time when we transition from being a teenager to a young adult. So there are many different things that we have to learn, not just in terms of academics, but other responsibilities. And LKC is very useful in teaching us those responsibilities because, we get to stay in hall, we get to be independent, that we also start stepping up into carrying out many community projects. And then we go into the wards where we have to start learning how to work in the real world. And that gave us this discipline and independence, yet a very good rigor that will remain with us for the rest of our lives, and I really like that.
Okay, well, can I say my favourite part is the gym? Okay, no, I guess on a more serious note, it's very similar to what Sree said, and it's really that flexibility that the school gives us. Personally, I like to wake up really late, like 11, 12 p.m, that kind of thing. So I think because like Sean said, our lectures are all pre-recorded, so we can choose what time we want to, study, whether it's the afternoon, evening, or even in the wee hours of the morning, And I think that really gives us that flexibility and makes us a lot less stressed about when we have to do our things. Yep. So with that, I think we've come to the end of the podcast. So thank you guys for listening into this podcast, and I hope that it's been useful for a little peek into the lives of the students here at LKC Medicine. So with that, I hope to see you guys in school. Bye.
Bye.